As the nation gives thanks on this most unusual Thanksgiving Day, a Supreme Court ruling is expected to have a big impact on the pandemic. It has to do with just how much control government can have on your life in general and on your worship in particular. Fox News correspondent David Spunt reports from the Supreme Court.
The plaintiffs, a church and synagogue from New York, argued the governor's order violated their freedom of religion. Newly minted Justice Amy Coney Barrett sided with the court's conservative wing, which wrote in a 5-4 decision, not only is there no evidence that the applicants have contributed to the spread of COVID-19, but there are many other less restrictive rules that could be adopted to minimize the risk to those attending religious services. Even in a pandemic, the Constitution cannot be put away and forgotten. When balancing religious freedom versus public health, Justice Samuel Alito recently made his views clear.
The pandemic has resulted in previously unimaginable restrictions on individual liberty.
The liberal wing of the court, this time joined by the Chief Justice John Roberts, a devout Catholic, wrote it was not the court's place to override determinations made by public health officials concerning what is necessary for public safety in the midst of a deadly pandemic. The governor of New York, a proud Catholic himself, says he issued restrictions in the name of science and, more importantly, safety.
You're only supposed to have 50 outdoors. They had 1,000.
This morning, Cuomo minimized the weight of this latest ruling. The governor recently changed the color coding for religious institutions, loosening previous restrictions.
It's irrelevant from any practical impact because the zone that they were talking about has already been moot.
He said, look, given the facts on the ground, I'm going to make this change to the color scheme or the categorization. But what the Supreme Court said is they said, whoa, not so fast. Just because you move the categories today doesn't mean that you won't change it up again tomorrow.
While the High Court's decision only affects New York, it sends a signal to other states on religious gatherings. The justices are considering similar cases in California, New Jersey, and Louisiana.
Many of these churches are doing this. You're saying, wait a minute. If a Costco is at half capacity with social distancing, why can't we be at half capacity with social distancing?
Over the summer, the Supreme Court ruled the opposite, allowing the governors of California and Nevada to impose restrictions because of health and safety. The difference, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was still on the High Court. Now Justice Amy Coney Barrett is carving out her legal legacy. At the Supreme Court, David Spunt, Fox News.